And we are live with the spotlight on the one, the only Mr. Immature Adult Gamer himself, Grim69. How you doing, buddy?
Absolutely fantastic, Boydie. Many thanks for letting me take part in your spotlight.
Mate, it was one of my community members who pushed me to get a hold of you because I'll be honest, being all the way over here in Australia, mate, I hadn't really heard much about MAG and what you guys have been doing over there. But Mackay, one of our loyal community members, was like, "You got to talk to them, man. They're just awesome. It's the best." And yeah, we've been chatting now for a couple of months, and I've joined your Discord, and dude, it's popping.
Yeah, it's a bit busy. I think that's one word to put it. Yeah, it's a bit busy.
It's kind of strange, like for me, in that over here in Australia, we've got a few main communities that most people are aware of, and then a few splinter ones in that.
Yes.
But over in Europe, there's quite a few very large communities. Are we still allowed to call the UK part of Europe after Brexit, or is that a faux pas these days?
I'm going to say no. To be fair, I don't think I personally don't think we should have left.
Yep.
That's my personal opinion. There's so many reasons why I don't think we should have left, but there you go, we did.
Look at that, mate. This is a record for me. Less than 2 minutes into the show, and we're already talking politics. How good is that?
I know, that's horrific. That is absolutely horrific. I hate politics. I absolutely despise politics. And
I do too, but I've always stood by the fact that we need to talk about these things. And don't worry, folks, don't switch off. We're not going to be going into talking about Brexit and fucking all the rest of that sort of crap now. But I have a personal philosophy that people should be able to talk about it. If you can't stay mature about it, then they're the people who shouldn't be talking about it. But if we don't talk about it, people don't understand the nuances of things. But but mate, tell us a bit about yourself. We were chatting a bit before the show, but it is your name just because you're a dirty old man, or are you actually a 69 vintage?
Absolutely not a dirty old man. No, vintage, born in 69. It's the best year ever. Man landed on the moon, allegedly. And that's the one thing that I kind of stick to, really. I just think it was an awesome year.
Yep.
They made me. But yeah, no, I've been gaming a long time. You could argue that I'm too old to be a gamer, but
no, never too old.
We've got people in our server that's in the 70s.
Did you see the podcast with Paris Red?
No, I didn't see that one. No,
you need to, mate. He's the oldest DayZ streamer that I'm aware of. Off memory, I think he was in his 70s, and he streams DayZ. Yeah.
Right, so I'll have to check that out. But yeah, we had a couple of players that were in the 70s in our community, which was just absolutely amazing, really. Like, I'm middle-aged. Well, I was middle-aged when I joined, like 15 years ago. Like, that's how long I've been part of MiddleAgedGamers, 15 years. And, we started with Counter-Strike Source. And, I can hold my hand up and say that I still have our original Counter-Strike Source service still alive on our box.
Okay, so for those who play Counter-Strike, I don't play, but I'm aware of this. What rank did you make?
Oh, this was before ranks existed.
Okay.
This is before CS:GO. CS:GO is the ranked, Counter-Strike 2 is the new thing, which has replaced CS:GO. But yeah, I joined MAG to play competitive gaming. That's kind of what I joined for. And we've just, over the years, we've evolved. Lots of new games come out. Player Unknown, Battlegrounds, PUBG. That was one of the big ones. Call of Duty. We played all the Call of Duties.
It's a travesty what happened to PUBG, man. I know I talk about it a lot. But
they killed it. Absolutely killed it. Like, they should have.
Just shows what happens when the wrong developer gets a game.
Yeah, like what they should have done is opened it so communities could host their own servers.
Yeah,
that's what they should have done.
I also argue, and I know there'll be people who disagree, but I also argue strongly that the removal of the lobby, being able to talk in the lobby,
Yeah.
a lot of the personality of the game. And I know there are
Yes.
people who, they'll say, but you've got all these people saying nasty things and all the rest of it. Punish the bad people. Don't punish everyone. Because
Absolutely.
I enjoyed getting in those lobbies, and I was never good at it, but I got a few chicken dinners. I've got them up on my personal YouTube channel.
Right.
But
Okay.
not
Cool.
a lot,
Yeah.
just a few. But
Yeah.
I enjoyed just going in there and having a laugh, and it's an important thing, and it kind of ties in with your community. But in today's world, particularly post COVID, where everyone got isolated so much and all the rest of it,
Absolutely.
it's important to allow people to feel like they're still part of something. And when games go and do things like remove the ability to chat with other players at the beginning of a lobby, that really depersonalizes the gaming experience. You couldn't talk until I think it was about a minute or so into the game. After not even in the planes. And by
it's
then
nuts.
most people just there were probably people who started playing PUBG who didn't even remember you could talk in the lobby. So then there was no talking. You watch some of those early videos of the interactions between people in essentially a game that's even worse than DayZ in the fact that all you do is kill people. DayZ, there's more options. But there was some great funny little interactions between players. And then after they killed that lobby, it killed the personality of the game.
See, I had so much fun playing PUBG. And when it first came out, I got loads of cases with some really expensive stuff which I sold. And instead of using this money like to buy more games, I actually bought keys for people, for my friends who I played with. And I gave people keys to the game so more of us could play together. And it was awesome.
I actually liked that as well. And then they killed the ability to do that when they stopped you being able to trade items or whatever it was. I used to give all mine to my son. Anything that I got was cool. And he would sell it and use it to buy games and stuff like that.
Yeah. I missed the leather jacket. I wish I kept that. That first leather jacket was awesome.
The player I know. You were an early adopter. I didn't get that.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah. But
no,
one of the... Go on, sorry.
No, you go.
I was just going to say one of the sort of four founders of MAG is a guy called Googie, and he's still part of MAG. He doesn't do admin in the server anymore. He just comes on as a player, but he's one of the team. And me and him, some of the games we used to play was just hilarious. I've got a little thing on YouTube where there was four of us playing a game, and he literally, when one of them, the big buildings with like lots of different levels.
Yep.
He's like, "Where's the stairs? Where's the stairs?" We were on the ground floor, and it was just such a funny moment. We've got to clip that. That's just gold.
I had a great moment with some of my mates where I flashbanged them right in the middle of a contact. But I didn't mean to. I was trying to flashbang the guy on the other side of the rock, and I ended up just flashbanging my own team. And it turned from a certain chicken dinner into a failure, and it's just one of the funniest moments. And but this is the importance of being able to talk. And the world's different from when you and I were younger, and all the rest of it, where pretty much everything was done in person, or you picked up a phone. Now we've got these videos, webcam. A lot of us spend a lot of time. Some would say too much time. They're terminally online.
My wife would say that.
But my wife does as well. But she understands that. You see that little thing getting around about a wife talking about, she does a tweet in some girls group or something like that. She says, "Don't tell me that these men aren't socializing. I just listened to my husband and all of his mates spend the night commemorating one of their gamer friends who passed away. And they stayed up drinking all night online, just with webcams and all the rest of it, playing games and having a laugh and all the rest of it. It's a different form. And yes, there's nothing quite like personal contact, with someone, but it's still a form of socializing that's important. And communities like yours are essential for that.
Well, just on that subject, really, Boydie, we've had 2 people literally pass away in the past couple of months. You know, I'm a big advocate of the whole mental awareness. And in one of them, it was a guy called Strix who had a young family, 2 young kids. He was a streamer. He was one of our admins, and sadly he lost the battle and took his own life, which is so tragic. And then just recently, one of our really, really good friends, a guy called Fuchs This from Germany, he's lost his battle with cancer, which was just absolutely, this guy, I kid you not, was like salt of the earth. He would never complain. He would just get on with it, and he'd help anyone. You know, he was just an incredible person, which is really sad. Like, I've got my own issues, which you might have seen. I'm in a chair. You know, I've got like a really shit debilitating condition, which it's just one of them things. There's nothing I can do about it. But I still go to work. I still work full time, and try my best to help run MAG, Middle-Aged Gamers. You know, I can't do that without the amazing team we've got, the amazing admins, the amazing community. As you said about our Discord popping, we must have over like 6,000 members on the Discord now. Our database for DayZ on our main Cherno server is something like 26,000 players.
So right now, you've got online 1.75 thousand members who are online at the moment in some case.
Okay.
I'm looking in the Discord. You've got the Hangout, which has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in it. Then you've got another person in another channel, another person in another channel. And it's just, it's awesome. It's great seeing all of this stuff. There'll be a link to the Discord down below, folks.
Okay,
but
cool.
Yeah, I love seeing stuff like this. Your server has been boosted 42 times. You don't need that many folks. Save them. Spread the love around. He only needs 14 or 16 or whatever.
I'll tell you what it is, right? This is part of it. Not the whole thing, but this is part of it. Is we take donations, yeah?
Yep.
And I stress this, we're not a monetized server. So that means, you know, we can't give people advantage of game. We can't give people priority slots. So the only people that have priority slots is, you know, admins, basically. You know, when we do need to get in the server, there's an incident or we're doing events and things like that. But yeah, we literally, the generosity of the community is incredible, like absolutely incredible. Like, you know, this month, I kid you not, I tried to close the donations after 2 days. I shit you not, 2 days. I tried to close the donations and we're still getting them. People are still trying to send money, and it's just like, just stop sending money.
I just saw something that really touched my heart, and I've got to share this on the screen. Share screen.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful little image. I'm taking it that's all your donators?
Well, we do literally have donators from just literally all over the world. You know, we have people from all parts of America, France, Spain, Germany, Italy.
I am. Oh my God, I'm an idiot.
I know, that is literally thank you in all the languages.
Yeah, that's thank you in different. Mercy.
And I love that. I love that for the simple reason that is literally the kind of player base that we have.
Yeah.
You know, we've got a really, really diverse community. You know, it's just huge. And there we run Rust, we run DayZ, we've got 3 Ark servers, we've got a Minecraft Bedrock server, the Counter-Strike Source servers. Yeah, it's just incredible. You know, I'm very humbled with, you know, with the people that play on our server, really, our servers. Yeah, it is just nuts. I can't
What's
like
the average age? Like, you call yourselves mature gamers. I've got the funny little ticker at the top there saying immature adult gamers,
yeah,
which you thought was a bit funny when you saw it as well.
yeah. Well, I did, yeah.
But
Well,
what's the average age?
we do have some younger people that play. I totally discourage anyone below 18 playing because, you know, it's a 18 game.
Yep.
You know, duty care and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? We have lots of different people, lots of different, and again, the language barrier from people from all over the world sometimes doesn't translate. But from an
Mate, the
average
language
age,
barrier within your own bloody country. There are people from the UK who I hear and I go, are they speaking English? Uncle Ray, for starters. I'm so glad I had
yes,
Brimstone on for that episode, because once he
yes.
gets going, I can barely understand a word that comes out of that bastard's mouth.
Yeah, well, I'm from the northeast of England. A lot of people say I'm from Newcastle, which I'm not. You know, it was nice chatting with the lad the other day because I think he's from like Yorkshire, which is just a bit down the road from me. But yeah, no, you're right. You know, it's different people's dialects, isn't it? You know, you can go, well, yeah, there's the Welsh, the Scots. I'm not going to offend any of them. Try not to anyway. But you know, from the south of the country, you've got the Londoners, the Cockneys. You know, yeah, Ruby Murray, all that sort of stuff. It's
You've
it's
got
very
so many
diverse.
wild accents, though, in just such a
Yeah,
small little island nation. Just what
yeah.
blows my mind. But yeah, but it's
Well,
great seeing communities like this where so many people can get together and just
well, it's
find
even
like
like our admin team. You know, our admin team. We've got two guys. We've got one guy from Canada. We've got one guy from sort of Mid America. We've got a couple of guys from the UK. We've got, you know, a couple of guys from Ireland. We've got Norway, Denmark, Germany admins, you know, and that's obviously not including the player base, which is just literally worldwide. I'd love to say like 40s, but, you know, I was in my 40s when I joined, you know.
I reckon it'd probably be in the mid to low 30s would be the average.
Yeah.
Because
We get a lot
sadly,
of
as you become an adult, it does get harder and harder to game.
Yeah, well, it does. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, everyone's got their own little challenge, haven't they? Which, you know, the big thing for me with gaming is, yes, I've got my issues, but you put me in a game and I'm the same as anyone else. And that is my big leveler, which I always say that, yes, I can't stand, I can't walk, I can't run, but I can in a game, you know? I might be crap in the game, but I can still do it, you know, the same as everyone else.
So do you mind talking about the challenges you've had outside, just as a bit of inspiration for people who might be in the same sort of boat?
Yeah, well, the company I work for, I've worked for 34 years. And when I started working for this company, there was nothing wrong with me. I was a perfectly, reasonably normal individual. And after about, I think it was about 4 or 5 years, I started to struggle with certain things. And I used to be into bodybuilding. I was in ice skating. I could do all sorts.
Ice skating.
Yeah, I could ice skate. I literally, you know, I could do pretty much anything. And then after about, I'd been working there for, like I say, about 4 or 5 years, and I started struggling. I started to kind of stumble a little bit, and I was like, "This is a bit weird." I started to struggle getting upstairs, which was another like kind of, that's getting strange. And it got to the point where I was in a meeting one day, in one of our canteens that had no tables, no chairs. It was a brand new canteen, and we were all crouched down to get a brief because it's a big manufacturing company I work for. And after they were finished, I went to stand up, and I couldn't stand up. I literally could not stand up. I had to like ask someone to help me up, and I was like, "Holy shit! What's wrong with me?" You know. And that literally made me go to my doctors and had loads of tests. And it came back that I've got a form of something called muscular dystrophy, which people may have heard of. I got diagnosed with something called Becker muscular dystrophy originally. And that then got re-diagnosed in something called limb girdle type 2B muscular dystrophy, which I'm told I'm quite lucky to have. I don't think I'm lucky at all.
literally, okay.
Literally, I kid you not, right? I'm trying to lift my hand up, and I've got to use my other hands to lift my arm up. I literally struggle with so much shit every day. For 18 years, I've been permanently in a wheelchair. I fell over. I was still walking with a stick or wherever as my condition evolved. And I fell over one day working from home and snapped my femur. And basically spent 4 or 5 months in hospital trying to get rehab. And
for those who don't know, the femur is the top bone of the leg. Generally regarded as one of the strongest bones in the human body. So that's insane that you fell and snapped that just from a fall.
Tripped over. Wow. Just tripped over in my study. Literally, my wife was taking my two young kids to school, and I stumbled and fell. I was going to make a cup of coffee.
You're actually really lucky that wasn't more serious, because if it's a clean break,
absolutely.
it's right near the femoral artery, and it could have been really bad. So
it was just above my knee joint where it broke, and that's now pinned and pinned and nailed together. And
that's insane.
My wife phoned for an ambulance, and paramedics come, pumped me full of morphine. They lifted me up on a stretcher, and I was just shouting at the kids, hey kids, look, Daddy can fly. I was high as a kite.
Did they give you that green whistle thing?
I don't know.
I had when I had my kidney stones or whatever it is, gallbladder stuff, and the pain from that was like, oh my God, what is that? Like, not excruciating, but when I got given that whistle, that whistle, or the stuff that the paramedics give you, you're high as a kite. It's just instant, almost.
I was flying. Yeah. So that literally started my journey of not walking, basically. And I was just permanently in a chair, which is obviously sucks. I think I spent about a year out of work, but I was still at work. And then eventually I just begged to go back to work, because I've always worked all my life. I was.
So how many years ago was this when that happened?
18 years ago. Yeah.
It's a testament to your employer that they didn't do what a lot of companies, let's be honest, what a lot of companies would have done. This guy's a liability, we need to get rid of him.
Well, it's funny because they've tried to get rid of me a couple of times over the years. Sorry, I just need a quick drink. My mouth's dry now. No, what my take is I've always been honest and upfront with everything. So they couldn't use that against me. Like literally everything. I've just been honest upfront, and in my role changed at work. I went back to college. I did IT. I did web design. I've been building computers before my kids were born. So I've been building computers for like 26, 27 years.
Wow.
Which, my PC that I have now is custom built by myself. But the big difference is my son, my youngest son, had to be my hands. He built it under my guidance, which, which was awesome. And even my eldest son, he no longer lives at home. He has his own home with his wife. And over COVID, he built his own computer with me on voice and video. So
That's
literally,
awesome.
you know, over the phone, over the Facebook, FaceTime or wherever, we literally talked through building his computer, which again, I was over the moon with. But yeah, I've retrained. I do actually work in IT now. I work for a huge company, and I don't say the name of it because I'll probably get it wrong. But yeah, it's we have 100 factories around the world. We make chassis components for the automotive. So yeah, you know, all the big players.
Yep.
But my things, data collection. I work with extracting data from PLCs, robotic PLCs. Yeah, lots of crazy stuff, databases, reports, all that sort of stuff. But
so you spend all day playing with computers, and you come home and you play with computers. So you've got the perfect life.
Yes, absolutely. And even when I joined MAG, before I joined MAG, I was creating Minecraft servers for my kids. World of Warcraft server. I used to host a World of Warcraft server. And again, I had a little shitty server under my desk plugged into horrific internet. And again, I had people from all over the world playing on my little gaming server. So doing the whole adminning thing of, I don't know, I like creating things and enjoy people enjoying them. But, you know, what we have now, I can't take all the credit for that because it's the amazing team that we have.
Yeah.
You know, we have some absolutely amazing individuals. And, you know, there was this girl that showed me, did a tutorial, and you called her the Baroness. I don't know if you've ever heard of her.
I think I have heard of that name. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very much when expansion was becoming what it was.
I think she was involved with not Barely Infected. It's on the tip of my tongue. US guy, Baby Nate. I think she was involved with Baby Nate.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one. And she did a one-to-one showing me how to retexture stuff. I think she was from Canada or somewhere like that. But I was just absolutely blown away. And that was my first, you know, yes, I was running a server, but I'd never created anything myself. And that was my first introduction into making things. And, you know, I can hold my hand up and say, you know, I'm sure she'll never ever watch this, but thank you. Because I got the bug. I really did get the bug. And I think the other thing that I made, which was quite interesting, was engine restrict. That was something I created where I didn't share it on the workshop because I didn't want people to laugh and think my code was crap. But literally, the way I wrote it was when the population of the server got too much, it restricted all engines. So you couldn't drive anymore. And people knew that, say we were running a 60-pop server, which was a real struggle back then, if it got to, say, 50 players, the cars used to lag out. So I approached a few modders and asked them, look, I've got this idea. Please, can you help me try and make this? And no one could help me, which I was pretty disappointed with. So I thought,
no one could or no one would?
See, exactly. Yeah, that is the very good question. So I just thought, shit, how hard can it be? You know, I've got a little bit of sort of fundamentals in programming. So I just thought, how hard can it be? And do you know what? It was pretty simple, but it worked. It did work. What I can say now is that when we used that, helicopters could still fly because it was a totally different script. So cars wouldn't work, but helicopters could still fly around, which was really cool.
Wow.
Now we have 100-slot server with cars and helicopters and no lag.
But hey, fix your cars, DayZ. I've never understood that. It's
Well,
usually like for back in the day. Yes, cars were buggy
yes.
as crap. I've got a great
Yeah,
video
yeah,
of a truck bumping into things and going
yeah,
to the moon and
yeah,
all the
yeah.
rest of it. But nowadays, it's usually more about the server,
Yes.
and how many mods they're running, the specs of the hardware that the actual server's running on, are
Yeah,
what
yeah,
are going to
absolutely.
cause. Because for the most part, cars aren't too bad. I get a little bit of
Mm.
and the size of bases. Bases are the biggest impact I've found
Well,
on.
do you
You
know
hit that
what's
lag
been
bubble of a base, and your car can be
yes.
gone.
Well, do you know what's been a game changer for us? And this has been, honestly, I'm not making this up. This has been a game changer. And this is a mod called Tofu Barrels. Now, I believe the expansion team now have a similar mod. It's not the same. It's not the same mod, but basically what happens is you lift the lid on the barrel, put your items in, and when you close the lid on the barrel, it removes them contents from the database. It removes them from the server. So you could have a 500 slot barrel and you could have 10 of them in someone's base, and you're only getting the footprint of 10 barrels, and they can be full.
Wow.
It for us, it has been game changing. Like now we've got 100 people online. We've got an FPS of 155.
Can you send me a link to? Is there a publicly available version of that?
Yes. Well, there's a public version, but we've got a modified one now.
Yep.
Simply for the reason that the guy who created it is now part of our team.
Yep.
And the guy in question is called Fnatic. He used to run, he was one of our early players back in the day. Like we've been running this DayZ server for, I'm going to say, 4.5 years we've been running DayZ.
Yep.
And the whole PvE thing was by accident. Right? I kid you not. Because one of my friends at the time, when we talked about making this DayZ server, I said, do we want PvP or PvE? And I misheard him. I thought he said PvE, and he said PvP.
That's funny.
And the crazy shit is people love it because, you know, another reason for the middle-aged gamers bay is that, you know, when people get older, and I don't know about you, Boydie, I'm sure you as sharp as a tack, but when people get older and they try and do this PvP stuff, especially in DayZ, and they get so sick of getting shot every 5 minutes when they spawn on a beach or try to go to a trader and they just get sniped. You know, a lot of older folk don't like that. So we do attract a lot of people. And if you notice as well in the top 10, a lot of these big servers are PvP/PvE zones.
And it's kind of funny. Like when Marx was on the show, I think that was one of his pet peeves. Was like, what is it? Is it PvE or PvP? It can't be both, people. Pick one.
Yeah. We tried it. Don't get me wrong. We tried it, and there was so much confusion. There was so many people. It was just a nightmare to manage. And we just thought, do you know what? Sorry, we've got a vanilla server with 2 people on. People can PvP on there. We haven't got anybody on it. Do you know what I mean? I think the most I've seen.
There's a lot of people who say that's not DayZ. And me personally, my preference is I always want to know, as bad as I am at PvP, I always want to know that there's the possibility I could die from any interaction. But that's me. Who am I to tell anyone else how they want to play DayZ? It's a blank canvas.
Yes.
Play it the way you want. If you want to play on a PvE server, play it. Most PvE servers I've seen aren't easy. There's a lot of really, really bad AI animals and monsters and things like that make it very, very difficult to do it. So,
well, we've got a couple of unique things really. We've got a bunker, which
what?
a bunker, you know,
A
like
bunker.
on Livonia, they have the
Oh, yeah.
bunker. We've got one, which is basically a man-made mountain, which gives you the illusion that you're going underground. That's how we've tried to do it. We've
Yep.
got a guy called Malango, who's one of our admin team, who is absolutely awesome at creating stuff. And this thing, this bunker, this mountain looks like it's meant to be there. Like literally. It's incredible. And we've got the Livonia door, which we're using a standard punch card for.
Yep.
You've got to find the punch card, which is, you know, certain zombies drop it or whatever. But again, the door's been modified, so it only stays open for 5 seconds. When people enter, when people have gone into the bunker, other people can't enter till they've exited. Because what we had was people spawn camping within the bunker. So it all activates off triggers and people were just staying in there. Do you know what I mean? Which, you know,
Yep.
You need so much firepower and thousands of rounds of ammunition to survive it, basically. It can't be soloed, or, you know, you've got to be one unique individual to solo it. So that is a challenge. You know, we've got a black market area, similar kind of setup. We've got another area that's the southwest of the map, which is called the Mystery Forest, right? It's walled off like Jurassic Park. It's got the giant doors, you know, fear mod. And once you enter, all guns are disabled, right? All guns are disabled, and the only thing you can use is a crossbow and melee weapons. And we have custom bears, we have baby bears, big bears, adult bears, lots of different wolves. And the big bear, you're talking a couple of shots with a crossbow to kill it, which is really interesting. It plays different music when you're in there, a bit like the whole the Mask thing. So when it's dark, you get a different atmosphere. And also,
and you guys are a
bubbles.
not-for-profit community, and you're still managing to achieve all of this sort of stuff. It's great to see this, because I'm a big supporter of, if people want to monetize their servers, they can. But it's great to see a community that's still able to raise money and do some amazing things without going down the prio queue and the other more egregiously monetized methods, as opposed to just creating something. It's harder to do it your way. You're creating something and getting people to realize they're part of something bigger than themselves, and to do something that is for the good of everyone.
Like, don't get me wrong, we've got some really good mods. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say any of them, but, you know, we have got some good mods that a lot of the top servers use. You know, I will say that. And anyone who's anyone can get them. You know, there's nothing really, apart from the ones I've just mentioned, that are unique to us. And another good one for you. We had a problem with people hunting animals. So again, you know, people were just trying to hunt, people bombing around in the cars, running the animals over, getting the kill. So I was like, look, can we do something with this? Can we stop the animals getting killed by the car? So basically, we've now got a script which is server side, where somebody can run over an animal, but when they get out the car and they start cutting up this animal, they start puking up, right? So they're literally puking up as they're cutting up the animal. And when they finish cutting it up, everything's ruined.
Because it most likely is going to be,
Yeah. So literally, you know, that's one little thing. People getting disconnected from the server. We've got it. So if somebody's driving a car, because again, that was a big pet hate. Somebody's driving a car, they get disconnected, lag, whatever, from their end. Got to get that in. The car automatically locks after 5 seconds. It just comes to a halt. So little quality of life things that we've tried to add to, you know, enhance the experience, really. But yeah, no, like I say, I could literally rhyme everyone off that, you know, help do this. Because like I say, it's not just me, it's literally all these wonderful people. But we did almost get pushed down the monetized route by a team we had previously. I don't really want to get into that, but it was a horrible experience over a year ago. We separated ways, but that was kind of why, because they wanted to go down the whole monetized. And I'm like, I do this for a hobby. This is something I do because I enjoy it, not as a job. And that has been the big key thing for me.
You sell
like
merch. You sell like bag merch, you know, so people can represent, you know, the community at get-togethers like PAXs and things like that. They can wear a mag shirt or something like that.
We have had them in the past.
I say do it, mate. Find one of those print-on-demand suppliers. It's a good way to raise just a few bucks to help cover the cost of servers and stuff like that. Do giveaways even, you know, put the money back into the community. You know, just a nice polo. You know, something like this. We've got this one. This is that lovely logo that Lad had made, the community. And I've got the podcast on the side.
Where do I get free one?
But if you find yourself a good supplier, and you know, because there's so many out there, what you might even be able to do is get them done where the people can have their gamer tag embroidered onto it as well, and sent to them. Because you know, there's a good community that I think is fantastic. It is Regiment GG. You've probably seen them yourself. It's a gaming community of veterans online in America, and it's massive. And they do something like that. They've got shirts that get sent out to people with, you know, whatever number they want, and it say yours would be, you know, number 69, and the name above it would be Grim on the back, like it's a football player or something like that. But they've got their custom regiment one made. You guys should do something like that as well, just to represent, because people like to feel part of something, whether it be a football team, whether it be
100%. Well,
whatever.
You know, another sort of spin on that is, what could be done is any money kind of raised like that, donate to charity maybe. You know, I'm a big, you know, I did a parachute jump, believe it or not, 12 years ago. Bear in mind, I can't walk a sand. I did a parachute jump to raise money for charity. And it was incredible, absolutely incredible. And that even giving money back was just, you know, it was just awesome. But it's a good idea. Because obviously, as I said before, when we, you know, because we're not a cash cow and we get too much money, I'm like, right, stop giving us it. Do you know what I mean? But that could be given to something else. That could be donated to something else. You know, it's and that's it. Yeah, you could do whatever you want
with that money to share it with everyone, and put it into whether it be there's a sad story of someone who needs help in the community or whatever, and but you do start to get into the territory of, do you need to register as a not-for-profit or that sort of thing. So that's all important. But just selling a few shirts, that sort of stuff, there's nothing wrong with that. Even having the money there for you talked earlier about how you've lost a couple of members of the community recently. I remember a couple of years ago when we lost one of the DayZ Down Under guys, Doc Satan. And despite the name, being Doc Satan, he was one of the salt of the earth guys as well. Lovely guy. And nearly everyone who played that server had a story of running into Doc Satan, and he was just a funny guy. And pneumonia fucking got him, man. And he was a young guy. But the community raised thousands of dollars to help cover the cost of his funeral for his family. Something sweet. You don't need to go and register as a charity to be able to do something like that. That's just people doing good shit for someone who touched their life in that. And that was amazing. I got to help out a mate of mine who's got a similar story to you, Moonshine. And he's had a terrible run himself. Started off everything okay, and then lost his father, was involved in a terrible accident, and he's now wheelchair bound. Has been most of his life. I managed to raise enough money to buy him at the time a modern gaming laptop because he was using a 10-year-old laptop to play DayZ on, and it was like, what the hell? But simple guy from West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country Road and all the rest of that sort of stuff. But
Yeah.
we did something nice for someone who, deserved it.
It feels
And
good
it's
as well,
a nice
doesn't
feeling.
it? You
It's a
know?
nice feeling, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%,
So how can someone join your community, mate? What do they got to do? What are the steps? Do you take them through it? Do you ask them if they, do you show them a cassette and a pencil and tell me how do these things go together to prove their age?
Anyone technically can join our community. When you say community, you mean as a player?
Yep, to join the Discord. Well, there'll be a link to that in the description of the video down below, folks. But yeah,
no, anyone can. The only sort of things we have is be friendly. We've got an amazing friendly community. We do get the odd person that comes on that's toxic, which you get, and that's the bit that we discourage. Obviously, be respectful. Be respectful to other people and enjoy the game. That is literally all we can ask for. And, as you've pointed out many times, we've got an awful lot of good people on our server, which, people love it. We're not role player, but we have like a P2P, like player-to-player trader, as well as NPC traders. That's run by people, that is run by a team of people. We've got a hotel, believe it or not. I kid you not. We've got a hotel that's run by people. Because
have you seen Stimpy's Rust International Hotel video?
No, I haven't.
Oh
actually,
my
no.
dear Lord, you need to go watch that. It's from the game Rust, but it is one of the funniest videos of all time involving a game and a hotel run by players. Stimpy, he's an Australian. Do you know who Stimpy is?
I've heard the name, yeah.
If you haven't watched a video of his, mate, well, I'm about to change your life. He is the funniest Australian YouTuber to ever exist. He is God tier.
Well, you're going to have to ping me some links just to make sure I'm thinking about the same.
Yeah.
But no, that honestly,
it's amazing what you can do in this game, isn't it? The silly little things like that.
It's the thing that gets me about DayZ, and we can criticize it to death. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm looking forward to 1.23 coming out, the changes that's going to bring.
Looks good, doesn't it?
It does look good. But the other bit that I love is the fact that people can mod it. And it wouldn't be what it is now if people couldn't mod the game, I believe. And the limit is people's imagination. And that's incredible. I just wish modders could fix cars.
Yeah.
You touched on PUBG at the beginning. Love it or hate it, the game mechanics for cars in that game is great. You
can shoot out of them.
Yeah, you can shoot. Well, you can shoot out of ours actually. And
as the driver.
No, not as a driver.
Yep.
Not as a driver. No, you'd have to be a passenger. Would you mind if I just shout out to a couple of my team?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
This is a spotlight on you, and you get to spotlight whatever you want, mate.
Well, we do, and I'll try and be quick because there's a few to mention. But as I said before, we've got Googies, one of our literally founding members of MAG. Gracelander, who will only play on our PvP server. He won't do any admin. Honestly, I've tried. It's hard work. He won't. John from Norway. We've got Mike Stone. We've got Spare Bear, Matty, Reiner, Combat Wombat, Irish Davo.
That's a good name. I like that. Combat Wombat.
Irish Davo. We've got Jay, Lord Zoid, like the Lord Zoidberg in Futurama.
Yep.
Blanco, Mrs. Baxter, Noah, Scruff, Silverback, Soup Sandwich, a lovely gentleman called Steak and Potatoes, who I believe used to be part of the moderation team of the early DayZ.
There you go.
Allegedly. Tex, who's from America. Name gives that away, doesn't it? And finally, Fanatic. and obviously myself. But yeah,
I want to quickly mention
people.
something as well. You said about it's Grezzo, the guy who originally the founder,
Googie,
and
Googie.
It's a special sort of person who realizes that I can no longer contribute what needs to be there to run this community. It's time for me to hand it on to someone else. So it's amazing that you've got someone who basically started this whole mag journey and then realized it's gotten bigger than me, or I just don't have the heart or the commitment, or I've got other priorities in life. Let's hand it to someone else. And that's a special kind of person. Shout out to Googie.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, there's another guy who I never mentioned, a gentleman called Madjock. And in the early days, me and Madjock would pass the server baton backwards and forwards like a poisonous chalice, because running servers literally was like a poisonous chalice. And again, terrific guy, but you know, he's now into gaming full time and just doesn't have time for the whole thing. But you know, the other guy was Fucks This, which is the guy that sadly passed away. He was the server, you know, his knowledge from server stuff used to run an Arma 3 server with Spebe. They had one of the biggest online PvP Arma servers out there back in the day. So, you know, absolutely just awesome. Just all of them are absolutely awesome. And like I say, I just couldn't do what we do without them. Yeah, it's...
Well, Grim, you are an inspiration yourself, mate. You know, your little life story, and you basically got one working arm, and you're wheelchair bound, but you're still employed. You're still giving everything to a community of people that are just a bunch of random strangers from all around the world. Who 99% of them you probably never met in real life, and it's nice to be part of something bigger than yourself, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I have met Googie. There's a couple of them, and Madjock as well. We used to do like a LAN once a year for the last 10 years or something. I've been to a couple of them where we'd meet up and share beers and, you know, hire a hall and do some gaming, which was just absolutely awesome. So putting physically faces and shaking people's hands and, you know, sharing the bread and beer and stuff like that is just, you can't put a price on that either. But yeah, if I'm an inspiration, fantastic. I don't think I am, but that's
because you're humble, mate. That's because you're humble.
I just enjoy doing it. That's my big thing, definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause. Let me see if I can get the button to work. Here we go.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad Mackay got me to get you on to talk not just about you, mate, but also the Immature Adult Gamers Group, IAG, or actually known as MAG, MAG. But it's fantastic, mate. I love what you're doing. Keep doing it. And if, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for a good community that's based on good, wholesome values, look no further than Mature Adult Gamers. Servers all around the world, and players from all around the world as well. Absolutely. And Grim, anything else you want to shout out, mate?
You what? Sorry?
Anything else you want to shout out?
Well, my amazing wife that hasn't divorced me. I think that's,
Mate, in today's day and age, that's a special woman. Everyone,
100%.
Everyone,
needless to say, she's not in. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting there doing this. So, yeah.
It's like my missus is down in Sydney for a work conference as well. So that's why I'm up at 3 a.m. in the morning here in Australia.
That's absolutely nuts.
Mate, my biggest gripe, I don't need to pick Australia up and plonk us at the same latitude, but more aligned with England and the US, and that we're just too far away from all the people who speak the same language as us.
Boydie, try and join the server. You might be surprised.
Mate, I can't handle anything above her. I'm bad enough as it is on Australian servers with, 20 to 50 ping. You put me on a 200-300 ping, I'm not going to be doing a bloody dude Thor and sniping people in a car at fucking 600 meters away like that bugger can. I just can't do it. But
fair enough.
Anyway, all the best, mate. And ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next time on The Spotlight. Ciao for now.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.